Good afternoon. I'm Jay. I'm the Arizona Pirate Party's Young Pirates representative. And I'm also a student at Ironwood Ridge High School. To start this off, it is important to realize that modern generations, my generations, have grown up in a world that has not known true stability, be it general or political stability, at all. I live in a post 9/11 world. I live in a post-Columbine world. I live where it is very uncommon to not have more school shootings than there are days at school. I live in a world that is faced with almost unstoppable climate change if we don't act now. Columbine, 9/11, the countless school shootings that have followed, and the countless other terror attacks have simply made this world mentally uninhabitable. Now, with threats of world leaders blatantly disregarding their country's laws, but also international law on war, it makes the doomerism of Gen Z and the generations that have followed grow exponentially. It is sad to see a country I call home and have called home my entire life become nothing more than a global laughingstock. It is sad when almost every day on the news I see and watch women, children, and non-military personnel get killed for living in an area that my country, the US, doesn't agree with their leaders' policy. That is not only a violation of American law, international law, not just international law, the Geneva Convention. Thinking about why that was written, it was written because of the Holocaust and Nazi Germany's actions during the Second World War. If you don't see the parallels between now and the 1930s and 40s, what rock are you living under? Because to some extent, let me join you. Let me be ignorant of the suffering that is going on. Let me stay a child. Let me not have to witness the suffering that is going on globally. Not just globally, domestically as well. And as hyperbolic as I might sound as a 16-year-old, look to places like Palestine and Gaza with Israel's actions, or in Ukraine with Russia's actions. Not just foreignly too. Look at domestically. Look at what the US has done here in the US and globally for the past 70 years. That is longer than my grandparents have been alive. 3 generations of my family have known where the US has been a ultimately violent global power. And dare I claim, any world leader in the modern age that claims war and acts on it is not only committing unlawful acts of war, but is also committing psychological terrorism on the youth. Because why should children be afraid that their parents or siblings or even themselves could get shipped off to war or be killed? And as Americans, we pride ourselves on rooting out global terrorists, and we pride ourselves on overcoming terrorist attacks, like the Oklahoma City bombing or the 9/11 attacks. But how can we truly overcome terrorism? How can we truly root out the terrorists if they sit in our government's bodies and are a part of them? Look at what's been happening in Minnesota with ICE. Look at the deaths of Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Are you not seeing the parallels to Nazi Germany and fascist Italy? They killed people who did not support the parties in power. Now, I do not offer many solutions. And to an extent, I can't. I'm a high schooler. I can't vote. And even if I could, I am one of 390 million people. My vote is going to make little to no difference. But collectively, if we work together and start grassroots, we can make a change. It might not be a change globally. It might not be a change nationally. It might not even be to change at your state level, but it could be a change local. And all movements start local. Now, I am not claiming that however this change takes place will make America perfect. It has never been perfect. America started off as a colonial power. Colonial powers have never truly been great countries, for they profited off of genocide and slavery. But I am claiming America could be better. Better for us now, and better for our children and for our future. Better for the immigrant and for the citizen, for the crop picker and for those who eat the crops that have been picked, for the student and for the graduate, for one's family and for the child, for the parent, for the liberal and the progressive, for the Democrat, for the Republican, for the moderate, for the politically unaffiliated, for the conservative and for the Republican. We need everyone to put aside which party you stand with and work together. This change will not happen unless we work together. Talk to your neighbors. Learn what they need. Learn what they struggle with. And I understand sometimes that might be difficult, especially if you're someone who is in a marginalized group and you don't feel comfortable talking to a Republican or a conservative. But one of the very first steps to ending this political instability that has plagued this world for the better part of 40 years is to talk to one another. So, I am not deeply religious, nor do I often quote religious texts, but I think the Bible does offer a very good nugget of wisdom. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now, it doesn't matter if your neighbor is different than you or the same as you. Love them. Wish them well. So act for your neighbor. And if you don't, who are you acting for? Act for yourselves. Act for your children, not the tyrants that are in our government and run the world. Thank you.